Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Abby, and in today's video we're talking all about Charged with Light armor mods, how to get them, how to use them, along with a couple example builds for you guys to try out on any class. If you like Destiny 2 guides like this, make sure to subscribe or become a member for additional perks. If you're interested in a keto-friendly energy drink, you can also support the channel by using code ABBY for 10% off at gamersupps.com. First, let's talk about how to get Charged with Light mods. Now, if you weren't playing back when they first came out, you may not have a ton of Charged with Light mods. However, Banshee does sell them sometimes. His mod selection is going to change daily at reset, so make sure you keep an eye out, and hopefully we'll get another source in the coming seasons to get some more Charged with Light mods. You can navigate to the mods section of the collections tab to see all your Charged with Light mods within the combat style mod section. Charged with Light mods are split up into 3 different categories, as you can see by the color of the mod icon. Green mods provide ways to accumulate Charged with Light stacks, yellow mods provide ways to use those stacks, and white mods provide utility in how you gain stacks or the number of stacks you can hold. By default, you can hold up to 2 stacks of Charged with Light. So the first step to making a Charged with Light build is to slot one of the green mods. This will allow you to become Charged with Light. My favorites are Taking Charge and Shield Break Charge. They don't cost a lot, and they have no energy affinity, which means you can use them on any armor piece as long as you have the required energy to do so. Taking Charge is going to allow you to become Charged with Light by picking up orbs of power. It's as simple as that. All you have to do is create some orbs, or your fire team create some orbs through masterwork weapons or supers, and you're going to become Charged with Light really quickly. Shield Break Charge only costs 1 energy, and you're going to become Charged with Light by breaking a combatant shield with the matching energy type. So this is really great in activities that have match game or where you know you're going to be breaking shields with that same energy type. Once you've slotted your green mod, the second step is to slot one of the yellow mods. These mods provide ways to use the charges that you'll be accumulating with the green mod. There are many great choices here depending on your build, but my favorite general yellow Charged with Light mods are High Energy Fire, Reactive Pulse, and Protective Light. High Energy Fire gives 20% additional weapon damage, consuming 1 stack of Charged with Light for each defeated combatant. Reactive Pulse, my favorite and super underrated in my opinion, emits a burst of arc energy when you take damage while surrounded, consuming 1 stack of Charged with Light, and it saved my life numerous times. It's also really great on Hunter with the Mask of Bacchus. Protective Light gives you damage resistance when your shields are destroyed, and it consumes all stacks of light. As you can see, this one also comes with the stat penalty of -10 strength, so keep an eye out for that as well. For more weapon-specific yellow mods, if you're using a sword, Lucent Blade provides 35% more damage for 5 seconds, consuming 1 stack, and if you're using a sidearm, Surprise Attack converts your stacks into a major damage buff. There's a lot of potential hidden in these mods, so take a look at what you've acquired so far and start experimenting. Finally, let's talk about white mods. These are utility mods that will either provide additional stacks of Charged with Light, like Supercharged and Charged Up, allow you to gain stacks at a faster rate, like Stacks on Stacks, or help your allies become Charged with Light and provide a stat boost to you, like Radiant Light and Powerful Friends. These white mods will not consume any stacks of Charged with Light, and you can run them in addition to any Charged with Light mods or on their own just for the stat boost. Many people, including myself, run Powerful Friends for the additional 20 mobility alone. Before we get to the example build, which has been running in the background gameplay, let's talk specifically about the Arc Energy Charged with Light mods. Taking a look at the collection book, we can see that the Arc Charged with Light mods have an additional secondary perk at the bottom. And the description reads, this mod's secondary perk is active when at least one other arc mod is socketed into this armor, or when at least one other arc Charged with Light mod is socketed into another piece of armor you're wearing. So keep this in mind if you are using something like Powerful Friends and you want that 20 mobility, or Reactive Pulse if you want that powerful overshield. What this means is if you want to slot one of these arc Charged with Light mods, like Lucent Blade for example, you'll also need another arc mod like Hands On in the same armor piece, or you can go to a different armor piece and slot a secondary arc Charged with Light mod. So I like to use Reactive Pulse and Lucent Blade together on 2 different pieces of armor, or you could use Reactive Pulse and Powerful Friends if you're not using a sword. And then alternatively, you could just use another arc mod like invigoration, for example, that comes on legs. However, I usually find that it's better for my build and better for saving energy to use two different arc charged with light mods, so I normally keep 2 pieces of armor that are arc so that I can slot both and then they'll both be active without me having to use an additional arc mod. Alright, so now hopefully you understand the function of Charged with Light mods and how they work together. Let's put some on our Titan and make a build for today's 1250 Lost Sector Perdition. So first things first, we want to make sure we are getting Charged with Light stacks, and to do so, we're going to go into our chest piece here and we're going to add this shield break charge. Now it only costs 1 energy, which is great because I only have 2 left, and this also allows me to change to something like grenade launcher reserves if I need to, but this is really great for this Lost Sector because there are a ton of arc shield harpies and we're going to be using an arc weapon. And then we're going to go back up to our helmet. We've got our helmet and our legs are 2 arc pieces, so we're going to take advantage of that. We're also using a sword, so we're going to put on lucent blade. So now when we're charged with light and we're using a sword, when we deal damage with the sword, it's going to give us a bonus 35% damage for 5 seconds, and it's only consuming 1 stack of charged with light. Since we have hands-on here as well, which is another arc mod, that's going to activate the secondary perk for lucent blade, which is greatly increases the charge rate of your equipped swords. However, we're also going to put one on our arc legs as well, so that if you didn't want to use hands-on, if you had a special weapon that you wanted to have an ammo finder on there for, you could do that. But on our legs here, we're going to go ahead and put reactive pulse, and you'll see that secondary perk is going to activate as soon as I slot it because I have lucent blade slotted on my helmet. So reactive pulse is going to give that burst of damaging arc energy whenever we take damage when we're charged with light. It only consumes 1 stack, therefore we should have enough to split between that and lucent blade, and we also gain a powerful overshield while performing your finisher. But just in case we don't have enough stacks of charged with light to have reactive pulse ready to activate or lucent blade ready whenever we want, we're also going to go over to our arms here, which are solar, and we're going to add another mod here, charged up, which is going to allow us for 1 additional stack of charged with light. So it's only 2 points, which is perfect because we're also running anti-champ mods for this Lost Sector, but this is going to allow us to have 3 total stacks of light. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at our mark here. We've got 3 unused points in our void class item, and we're going to go ahead and slot in taking charge, which is another way that we can become charged with light. So now we get charged with light by picking up orbs or by breaking shields with the same energy type. And the reason why I'm going with this is because in the Perdition Lost Sector, in the second room, there are not too many arc shield harpies anymore, so we're going to have a hard time getting charged with light, but we are going to be using masterworked weapons, so we'll be able to pick up the orbs as we drop them. And so that is a basic build that I would use going into endgame content. Of course, you could mix and match with some Warmind Cell mods, with other mods, with some powerful friends, Radiant Light, whatever you want, guys. It's super fun to experiment and to play around with these different mods, so definitely go for it if you have the energy on your armor pieces. I highly recommend adding these type of mods to your build. It's going to make it so much stronger and you can't really go wrong with it. So let me know down in the comments below, what are your favorite Charged with Light mods? What type of builds do you run with them? And I will see you in the next video. Bye.